insisting on to yourself. I'm not going to do that. Whatever the final decision is taken, I've not stolen from anybody. I've not committed any criminal activity or anything of that sort. I was expressing the views of the youth of the ANC, which mandated me to do so. Those are not my personal views, and I'm not going to change and say I'm sorry for those views when I've got no mandate to. So there are many issues we've spoken about.
But do you think you've been as eloquent and as forceful in articulating those other issues as you have been with the land issue as well as nationalization?
We've been very eloquent. It's just that we have no final say as to what goes into the news bulletin, because it's not us who decide what happens in the news bulletin. So we speak and labor brokers because we've got a mandate of the Congress to do so. So it's not just those two issues.
Overall, do you think the media has been fair or unfair in their portrayal of you?
It's not only me that they've projected negatively. Perhaps only Helen Zille got a positive, image. The rest of us who are associated with the movement, there's always an attempt, with or without the media. Media knew nothing about me. They only started writing about me when I became the president of the Youth League. And I was not born the day I became the president of the Youth League. They found me with all what I have, and they have not made any contribution, both politically and otherwise, in my life. So I have no respect, none whatsoever, for media's contribution, either in my downfall, DC. And the following day, I wake up, all newspapers saying the Treasurer General of the Youth League is expelled. But he's there, he's not expelled. And then what records do we have? There was a media that reports that I'm going to be arrested when I come back from the wedding in Mauritius, and they've got confirmation despite the fact that my lawyers challenged them to say there is no such a thing. This government, I've never had power to channel tenders to any way. But the way I'm projected, I've accepted it, wrong as it is, but I'm projected to be the most corrupt individual. It's not correct. Even if I want to take action against those type of reporting, it's useless because that action is meaningless. If you go to court, for sure there's going to be pronouncement after 4 years when everybody else is
Saturday on 6 o'clock on like Kaya ngomsomluko ku SABC 1 Mzansi for show.
Welcome back. You're watching The State of Our Nation, our current affairs series looking at issues affecting South Africans today. I want us to continue from where we left off just now.
One of the papers just apologized to him last weekend after he took them head on. The guy attended his wedding in Mauritius, who said, show me a tender that Julius gave me through illegal means. And there was nothing that came out of that. So there is no tender that I gave to anybody. None of government officials can ever say I impose with President Zuma. So if there was an illegal activity, why would you expose such people to public?
So there is nothing clandestine about it.
It has never been a secret fund. There's never been a secret trust fund. I'm sitting here today. There is one senior leader of the ANC who says, I get money from ZANU-PF. We get trained by ZANU-PF. I'm in touch with President Mugabe. Actually, this style of beret is from Zimbabwe. That's what funded by, I took a bond from ABSA. And there are renovations in that house. It's not a strange thing. Every young person working and getting money will always make some improvements, especially when you have just bought a house.
Well, the reports say the house has been demolished and the new one is being rebuilt.
No, those renovations are carried by the owner of that house.
And toward that you've done or that you are doing?
I have no fear of anything. but I'm politically conscious and know very well that state power can be manipulated to produce any outcome, especially by those who control that power. So whether I'm going to be arrested or not arrested, like being fired from the Youth League, I've not done anything wrong. I've never engaged with anybody consciously of the Youth League. I've never addressed empty chairs.
Okay. We're just going to play that insert that I spoke to you about earlier.
No problem.
What other leaders had to say about Julius Malema.
I think Julius has put the economic freedom on the map for young people. Unfortunately, by so doing, he has made a lot of young people angry. And one thing that I would like to ask him is...
How can I bully him? I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never met them. I don't know both of them. I didn't know the DA has got a youth. I'm just getting exposed to it now. But what makes me happy is that they talk about a leader of another youth organization. We cannot do that in the Youth League because to us they don't exist. So we are...
Uzoyipi chika machika kazlami usho le dlala ku SABC 1 mfati for sure but this is over bigger and better hayi uzosifuna isilungame bro wami abogodi groti better ulamanga and kuzoba nama weekly prices Spanish bro wami.
ABC News, Africa's news leader, lots of postings. Viva Juju, viva, you must keep on telling the truth. The question Henry Muhwezi as well as Yolanda Kwankwa are asking is, what's next and will you do things differently if you are to be given another chance to lead the ANC Youth League?
I get my mandate from with that type of guidance and leadership.
Now, Debucho Kapel says, most of the youth in Limpopo will agree with me if I say Julius stole many people's lives. Do you regret the fact that you didn't serve the youth perhaps as best as you could have done?
We have served the youth very well, and you'll know that this was...
or not. Worst case scenario, it confirms the decision of the NDC. How do you see your life moving forward? I know that you said at the beginning it's too ghastly to contemplate.
No, I will go on with my life. I've accepted sort of that situation, having observed the from the ANC appealing to the appeal body of the ANC fails, takes to review fails, takes to the Congress fails. He will wait for future generation of the ANC to liberate him. Maybe Makata or Ronald Lamola or Floyd Shibambo, one day they will become leaders of the ANC and they will go and look for me in the villages and come and ask me to come back because they are now in charge body that we know who has changed.
But who are the people who stood by you?
The leadership of the ANC, some of them came, Comrade Figile Mbalula, Comrade Tokyo, Comrade Winnie Mandela, Comrade Rapu Mulegani, Comrade Soviet Lekhanyani, Comrade Clifford, Comrade Dali, Comrade Mchaulani. The leadership of the Youth League, the entire leadership of the Youth League was there throughout these difficult periods. And even today, they are still there. They stand against this leadership. They are actually more determined. They are supporting this leadership. Those who say what they say differently today, from the beginning, they were not with us.
Now, you haven't mentioned President Jacob Zuma in the list of people that you mentioned. When was the last time you spoke to him?
I don't remember.
You haven't spoken to him in a while?
I have not of a situation. It was so embarrassing when I went to COSATU March now recently. I had to see leaders coming together so quickly to talk about whether he must talk, or not talk? What does he do here? What does he want here? And then that type of language, I don't want to put people in such situations. I was not going to COSATU much. The Secretary General of the Youth League insisted that I go to a COSATU match, but a Congress. So I said, oh, does he take the mandate from the workers or from the ANC leaders? So when I saw that, and one of the leaders confirming that leaders of the ANC were calling to ask what was I doing there, you know, all these things unfolding. I don't want them to happen in my name, but I'm not in the cult.
Very briefly, your message to the youth of South Africa, if this was the last.
That they think I've done wrong. I did not do it deliberately. I was making a contribution. I thought I was strengthening the movement as required by the Constitution of the ANC Youth League to support the movement. If my contribution by strengthening the ANC offended any one of you, I will want to apologize for that. But that was a contribution which I've made, and I have no regrets about that contribution.
Mr. Julius Malema, thank you very much.
Thank you.